Let's talk about how we manage our chatty children. Now, not only have I been a teacher for the last 15 years, I've worked in a residential children's home, foster carer, and I've had my own childcare business of over 1,000 children. Yes, I have had my fair share of chatty children. So what do I do about it? Especially as I was one of those chatty children at school. The first thing that we do with our chatty children within the classroom is explain the rules, boundaries, and expectations as soon as we meet the child so that they know what the rules, boundaries, and expectations are going forward. We also have these displayed so that we can refer to them and the children are aware exactly of the rules, boundaries, and expectations at all times. The second thing that we do is assess our table layout. It will blow your mind when you realize that the layout of the table has a huge impact on the volume and behavior of the children. Check out our other video for how to lay out your tables for the least amount of volume and behavior. If children are chatting and you don't want them to, the first thing that you need to do is to get their attention. I spoke about this in a getting attention video. By singing songs and by using bouncy balls does not calm children to stop them. You want to stop and calm the children as calmly as possible with no verbal response, because that's when children are talking. Our getting attention symbol across the whole school is simply raising our hand. This has stopped thousands of children without causing any chat. If you are teaching and children are chatting, do not stand there and say, "I'll wait." See my other video about that. The first thing that we would do is use a visual cue to remind that child of the rules, boundaries, and expectations. That might be a simple tap towards the rules. You might have a picture that you show the children, which means we're not talking right now. Or you can even use an action. Once we've shown our visual cue to that child, if they then don't stop talking, we would use a verbal. That might be, again, to remind the child of the rules, boundaries, and expectations. What we try to do when we are using this verbal reminder is not to use the negative language, but to use the positive. Videos about the importance of positive language and the effect of that on behavior. So instead of saying stop talking, we would try and say something positive. For example, we're not talking. By making this shift from a negative language to a positive language, it will also stop that refusal barrier. If a child continues to talk after the visual and the verbal prompt, then we go into the consequence system. Now, it's really quite difficult for me to comment on people's consequence systems because every school has a different consequence system. Remember for your consequences that they must be timely and appropriate. If you would like to know more information about consequences, find our consequence video. I'm Danielle Douglas. Let's talk behaviour.